Imagine you are 10 years old and you are standing in the middle of a massive toy store. You see it, the coolest, shiniest remote control car in the world. It has huge wheels, working headlights, and it goes faster than anything you've ever seen. It costs $100. You look in your pocket and you only have 5. Usually, that is the end of the story. You walk away sad and go back to your old wooden blocks. But then a man in a bright, shiny suit leans over the counter and whispers, "Don't worry, kid. You can take the car home today for just $1. You just have to promise to give me $2 every single week for the next 3 years." Your 10-year-old brain does the math. $2? That is just a couple of candy bars. It sounds like a total steal. You grab the controller, you race out the door, and you feel like the luckiest kid alive. But here is the part you didn't see. As soon as you leave the store, that salesman turns to a group of professional gamblers sitting in the back room. He sells them your promise for $90 in cash. The gamblers then start placing bets on whether a 10-year-old kid is actually going to have $2 every single week for 3 years without missing a single day. Welcome to the modern American car lot. It is not a place where people buy transportation anymore. It is a high-stakes casino where the cars are just the chips on the table and the real game is the debt attached to them. This is the story of the subprime auto loan bubble. It is a financial disaster that looks exactly like the 2008 housing crash, but this time it has 4 wheels and a much faster engine. To understand how we got here, we have to look at something called the magic monthly payment. In the old days, if you wanted to buy a car, you looked at the total price. Is the car worth $20,000? Can I afford $20,000? If the answer was no, you bought a cheaper car. But today, the total price doesn't matter. The only thing the salesman wants to talk about is, what can you afford per month? By focusing only on that one monthly number, the salesman can hide a massive, ugly secret. They can take a car that is worth $10,000 and sell it to you for $15,000 just by stretching your loan out. Instead of paying for 3 years, you are now paying for 7. You feel like you are winning because the monthly number stays low, but you are actually walking into a trap. Here is the first big realization. The dealership does not care about the car. In fact, many dealerships would be happy to give you the car for free if it meant they could sell you the loan. That is because for a modern dealership, the metal and rubber are just an excuse to get you into the finance office. That tiny windowless room where you sign the paperwork is where the real profit happens. They make more money selling you high-interest debt, gap insurance, and extended warranties than they do on the actual vehicle. They aren't car dealers. They are high-interest moneylenders who just happen to have a parking lot full of trucks. But why are they so eager to lend money to people who clearly can't pay it back? Why would a bank give a $40,000 loan to someone with a part-time job and a terrible credit score? In a normal world, that would be a bad business move. But we don't live in a normal world. We live in the world of the Wall Street blender. Wall Street discovered a trick during the housing bubble, and they have perfected it with cars. It is called securitization. Imagine you have a basket of fruit. Most of the fruit is fresh, but a few of the apples are totally rotten. Nobody wants to buy a rotten apple, but if you take all the fruit, the good and the rotten, and you put them into a giant industrial blender and turn it into a smoothie, you can sell that smoothie as a premium fruit blend. This is the second big secret. Wall Street is taking thousands of these rotten auto loans given to people who probably can't pay, and they are blending them together into bonds. They tell investors that because there are so many loans in the blender, it is impossible for all of them to fail at once. They call it diversification. Investors who are hungry for any kind of profit dump billions of dollars into these car loan smoothies. This creates a massive vacuum effect. Wall Street needs more loans to fill the blender, so they tell the car dealerships to lend more money. They tell them they don't care if the borrower has a job or a bank account. Just get the paperwork signed. This is exactly what happened with houses in 2008. When the people at the top want to buy debt, the people at the bottom stop checking if that debt is actually good. The standards vanish. The car lot becomes a place where anyone with a pulse can walk out with a $50,000 truck and an interest rate that would make a mobster blush. Some of these loans have interest rates of 20 or even 30%. If you miss just one payment, the whole thing starts to crumble. But the banks are not worried. They are not worried because they have a high-tech secret weapon. In the world of houses, if you stop paying your mortgage, it takes the bank months or even years to kick you out. It is a slow, expensive legal battle. But cars are different. Cars are mobile, and nowadays, cars are smart. Many subprime lenders now require a starter interrupt device to be installed in the car before you can drive it away. It is a tiny black box hidden under the dashboard. If you are even one day late on your payment, the lender can sit in a comfortable office 500 miles away, click a mouse, and remotely shut off your engine. Imagine you are getting ready for work. Or worse, you're picking up your kid from school. You turn the key and nothing happens. The car is bricked. You can't go to work, which means you can't earn money, which means you definitely can't pay the bank. It is a digital hostage situation. And if that doesn't work, the bank uses the GPS inside the box to send a repo man to your house at 3 in the morning. Because cars are easy to move, the recovery rate for car loans is much higher than for houses. This makes the banks feel invincible. They think they can't lose because they can always just take the car back and sell it to the next person the very next day. This is called churning. A single car can be sold and repossessed 4 or 5 times, generating thousands of dollars in fees and high-interest habit payments every single time. But there is a flaw in this plan, a huge one. This is where we see the death of used car values. You see, houses usually go up in value over time. If a bank takes your house back, they can often sell it for more than the loan was worth. But cars are the opposite. The moment you drive a car off the lot, it loses a huge chunk of its value. It is a depreciating asset. Today, millions of Americans are upside down on their loans. This is a fancy way of saying they owe $20,000 on a car that is only worth $12,000. This is called negative equity. Now, imagine you are in a minor accident. The car is totaled. The insurance company writes you a check for the value of the car, $12,000, but you still owe the bank $20,000. Suddenly, you have no car, but you still have $8,000 of debt. What do most people do? They go back to the dealership. The salesman says it's no problem. He tells you he will just take that $8,000 you owe and roll it into a new loan for a new car. Now the borrower is driving a $20,000 car, but they have a $28,000 loan. They are carrying the ghost of their old car's debt into their new one. People are walking around with zombie debt, paying for things that are already in the junkyard. This works as long as car prices keep going up. But when used car prices start to fall, which they are doing right now, the blender starts to smoke. This leads us to the default wave. For the last few years, the government was pumping money into the economy, and many people were able to keep up with their payments. But now the stimulus is gone. Inflation is making groceries and gas more expensive. People are being forced to choose between buying eggs and paying for the shiny truck in the driveway, and they are choosing the eggs. Across America, severe delinquencies, people who haven't paid their car note in 60 days or more, are hitting the highest levels we've seen in nearly 30 years. It is higher now than it was during the 2008 crash. The repo lots are filling up. But here is the problem. Because everyone is defaulting at once, the market is being flooded with used cars. When you flood the market, prices crash. Suddenly, those fruit smoothies that Wall Street bought don't look so delicious anymore. The investors realize that the gold they were promised is actually just a pile of rusty steering wheels and broken engines. If the auto loan market collapses, it won't just hurt car dealers. it will ripple through the banks, the pension funds that invested in the bonds, and the millions of families who rely on a car just to survive. In America, if you don't have a car, you can't go to work. If you can't go to work, the whole economy stops moving. The Vegas casino of used cars is running out of luck. The gamblers are getting nervous, the kill switches are clicking, and the lights in the showroom are starting to flicker. So the next time you see a commercial promising 0 down and easy monthly payments for a car you know you can't afford, just remember the 10-year-old with the $5. The salesman isn't trying to help you get to work. He is trying to manufacture a piece of debt that he can sell to a gambler in New York. The car in your driveway isn't just a machine to get you from point A to point B. To the financial system, it is a high-interest lottery ticket. And when the lottery ends, it is the person behind the wheel who ends up paying for the whole show. Debt is a powerful tool when it is used to build things. But when it is used to dress up a lemon and call it a lime, eventually, the taste turns sour. The subprime auto bubble is a reminder that you can't hide reality in a blender forever. Eventually, someone has to drink the smoothie. And right now, the straw is headed straight for the American consumer. Don't be the one left holding the bill when the music stops and the repo man comes knocking. Because in this casino, the house always wins, and the players always lose their ride home.